May 22nd, 1987, something happened that changed the tennis world for women of it. Let's try something else. If you ask any tennis kid what their dreams are, most of them will tell you the exact same thing.
Become world #1 and win a Grand Slam.
Which is adorable and completely delusional. Since the ATP creation in 1973, only 28 of them got to live this childhood dream. This is pretty much how many people traveled to the moon. And among these 28, one, and only one, gets to stand above them all. And as of today, his name is
Novak Djokovic.
Novak
Djokovic. Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic.
And here's what he said as a 7-year-old when asked the famous question. Huh. I thought he was gonna say something special.
Nope.
Well, okay then. Novak Djokovic might not be the most loved, politically correct or stylish member of the Big Three, but he's by far the most fascinating. And also he accomplished more than anyone else in history. Except for Margaret. Thank you, Batman. With a mind as complex as a Christopher Nolan's script and a body as flexible as a tech billionaire's sense of ethics, Novak Djokovic is an absolutely unique case in the history of sports. He pushed every limits of his mind and body, left no stone unturned, and ultimately accomplished something neither Nadal or Federer could ever do. Go through their whole career with the exact same haircut. Seriously, this hair density is insane. Nadal looks like a whole other person. Anyway, Djokovic came from nothing and conquered everything. He defied the odds, defeated the gods, and no for nods? Used to bite iPods? What the fuck? Isn't there any good rhyme in odds? Okay, never mind. His list of accomplishments is unparalleled, and until someone else stays as long as he did on top of the game, he sits firmly on the tennis GOAT throne. So buckle up guys, because today, we're taking a look at Novak Djokovic's life.
There are still people that don't understand what makes this guy so extraordinary. He's got the most majors, he's got the most Master Series titles, he is the GOAT. Next topic.
Novak Djokovic was born in 1987 in Serbia. Serbia is famous for Nikola Tesla, the hospitality of its inhabitants, and its notorious Emmental buildings, designed by the famous architect Nato, which would play a key part in young Novak's development. Novak's childhood is absolutely unique, and no tennis player ever had a similar childhood. His parents owned a restaurant, and at 10 years old, he had to make a choice between skiing and tennis. Okay, but these are the only two things Novak and Yannick have weirdly in common.
I think it makes sense to call him Djokovic 2.0, same qualities as Novak.
At the age of 4, he received a karaoke machine and a tennis racket. It became obvious right away that he would never be a singer. For tennis, however, he did have a gift, to the point that he caught the eye of someone very special, who would change his life forever. In 1993, Jelena Gencic, a former pro player, came to run a tennis summer camp near the Djokovic's restaurant. Gencic, it turned out, was the Novak Djokovic of discovering young talents. She quickly realized that Novak was a pure tennis prodigy and started coaching him in the holistic way that became Novak's trademark. It was about more than just tennis. She made Novak listen to classical music, read Pushkin, and stimulates his interest in languages. So more than Novak's coach, she was a mentor and a second mom basically. So everything was going fine for Nole. But things were about to change. 1999 was a year of dramatic worldwide events. An earthquake devastated Turkey. A gun massacre happened in Columbine High School. Bill Clinton got blown by someone else than his wife. Serbia was bombed, and Will Smith committed Wild Wild West. This obviously had a major impact on young Novak.
Koje se mene tiče, ja sam posljednje 4 godine bio treći na svetu. Imao sam sumnje. Ti da imaš, ti da si imao, ma nisi. Imao sam malo, priznajem. Ma nisi. Znam da ti nisi imala u mene, ali ja sam imao.
What? Yeah, so the bombing had a major impact on Nole's life. Money was scarce, and Novak had to change training spots every day because they tended not to bomb the same zone twice. I mean, I get annoyed at work when there's a fly doing bzzz, you know? Wait. Now let's take a step back and imagine being a 12-year-old. And suddenly you see your school and tennis court bombed and your country portrayed as evil. Seriously, this kind of traumatic childhood is literally the backstory for every supervillain in Hollywood movies. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for every other tennis player on earth, Novak chose to destroy them instead of the whole world. Still, this was too easy in the opinion of tennis gods. Hey, let's make his life more difficult. Dude, really? I got a good one. His family's future depends on him. That's tough, man. Come on, it's gonna be fun. Come on. Alright then. And so it was. His dad had to borrow money from local criminals to finance his tennis trip. 5,000 mark, please. 25% interest, Djokovic. Okay. Now play like your life depends on it. Well, it kinda does now. Still, the probability of dying didn't make Serbia the ideal place to train. So Jelena Gencic used her connection and set knowledge to Germany in the city of Oberschleisheim. In the academy of her friend Nikola Pilic, young Novak kept on improving. He kept on winning, and finally became a pro at age 16, ready to fulfill his destiny. From 2004 till 2010, 28 Grand Slams were held. 24 of them were won by either one of these two problems. The first problem was called Roger.
You've got to be kidding me! The guy is so talented, it's beyond a joke.
Federer alone was already a nightmare for everybody. Between 2004 and 2006, he lost 15 matches. Zverev lost 16 matches in 2025 and he's world number 3. And so as every single player on earth was slowly losing hope of ever winning a Grand Slam, there came another one. The second one was called Rafa. Y Rafa era.
Unreal, incredible, unbelievable, phenomenal!
Imagine these two doing what they do until 2031. That's what we're talking about. The rest of the tour was basically just happy to share the crumbs Fedal was kind enough to grant them. Wait, you think that's it? We're just getting started. Today everyone talks about a potential third one like it's something obvious. But at the time, there was no proper Big Three precedent, so people were perfectly happy with just two. See, people were not just in love with Federer or Nadal, they were in love with Fedal. As the legendary Chris Evert beautifully put it,
the key to a great rivalry is contrast, and you couldn't have more polar opposites.
Fedal, what else? And right in the middle of this beautiful love story between two untouchable heroes and their fans, comes Novak. As the French expression goes, comme un cheveu sur la soupe. In order to climb the two Everests that were Nadal and Federer, Novak developed a near-perfect game. No proper holes, effective equally on all surfaces, few mistakes, perfect backhand, best returner on the planet, insane IQ. But he also had something no one else had to that level. Defiance. Novak didn't want the crumbs, he didn't even want a slice of the cake, he wanted the whole cake. And he wasn't shy to say it publicly. Listen to him after losing 2 sets to love and retiring against Nadal at Roland Garros.
Even though he's the best and everybody thinks that he's unbeatable, I say he's not unbeatable, he's beatable.
At that point in time, saying Nadal was beatable at Roland Garros was pretty much like saying the earth was flat. But Djokovic is like the honey badger.
Honey badger don't give a shit, it just takes what it wants. Whenever it's look, it runs all over the place.
Except he didn't take much, because Fedal was still kicking his ass. And also he liked medical timeouts a bit too much. So people started mocking him.
Djokovic, do you need some smelling salts?
Shaved the right ankle, opposed to the left ankle the other day.
Yeah, no, both of them.
You must have been watching a different match than I was.
Gonna cramp.
Bird flu.
Because to me, it was a heavyweight versus a middleweight.
Anthrax.
Do you want to incite Rafa? I think the next time he plays you, he is going to drop the hammer on you. You will never forget saying that.
Yeah, turned out it wasn't really a good idea. Now is a good time to talk about
the Michael Jordan syndrome.
So basically it's a
propensity to turn any provocation, real or totally imaginary, into fuel for your never-ending appetite to annihilate your opponents.
Example.
He took such umbrage at a guy saying "nice game, Mike" that he torched and humiliated him.
I'm supposed to kill this guy.
Okay, Michael was borderline psychopath, but you get the idea. Well, put a racket in his hand and make him go through a war as a kid. You get Novak Djokovic. At the time, he wasn't really good at handling this publicly.
Well, obviously, Andy was saying that I have 16 injuries in the last match, so obviously I don't, right?
Didn't look like it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Fortunately, he got better with age.
And to all those people that have chosen to disrespect the player, in this case me, have a good night.
Yeah, okay, but
Good night. Very good night. Yeah.
Look, at least he's coherent. So in the end, just remember the words of Jesus.
Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Same thing with the Novak. In 2007, he got his first wins against Nadal.
He's done it.
And Federer.
He's done it.
Quickly became Nadal, Djokovic, the rest. And finally, in 2008, he stepped up big time by winning the Australian Open. It was Grand Slam time, baby. He was in with the big boys. Welcome to the spin cycle, bitches. He's your daddy now. Our boy, no. Except he wasn't. Yeah, he didn't win a slam for 3 years after that. Which only reinforced the idea that he was the eternal third. By December 2010, this was the Grand Slam leaderboard. The physical and mental domination was total. But then, two events would completely change the course of things. First one had to do with this man, Dr. Igor Cvetojevic. In 2010, he found out Djokovic had issues digesting gluten and dairy, so he cut it out of his diet. One element in particular was hard to renounce.
Koji mi isto predstavio dosta problema na terenu. Ali najveći odskok je bio taj osvajanje Davis Cupa sa...
Oof, don't call my girl. What? Okay. So the physical part was 100% operational. All he needed now was a mental click. Something to make him go from great sporting character to ultimate boss. This click came on the 5th of December 2010, when Serbia beat France in the Davis Cup finals.
Serbia je šampion sveta!
His country, the villain in the NATO story, was on top of the world. And he, Novak Djokovic, was the lead character. That was it. No more third wheel of the car. No more physical letdown. The new season was coming, and Novak couldn't wait to try his new superpowers. 2011 is considered one of the all-time great tennis seasons, but most importantly, it marked the true beginning of the Big Three. Djokovic was now eating at the king's table, and he was very, very hungry.
Oh, that's unreal! No way! Can you believe that? That's incredible. Yo! Jaw-dropping stuff from Djokovic. Take that! He remains unbowed, unbeaten. A remarkable season gets better and better.
That year he won 3 Grand Slams, 6 Masters 1000 and ended the year as world number 1. Except for Nadal, who won Roland Garros, everyone else ate the crumbs. How did these two react? Federer was a class act.
Confidence, are you kidding me? I mean, please. To lose against someone like that, it's very disappointing. So for me, this is very hard to understand how you can play a shot like that on match point.
We'll get back to that particular shot. As for Nadal... Okay. Let's say you play backgammon with your grandson, and he wins 1, 2, 3, 4 times. By the 5th time, no matter how much you love him, you'll want to punch the little prick in the face. But you'll pretend everything is fine, otherwise he'll cry and shit his pants, right? After 7 finals in a row, including 3 Grand Slams, Nadal was not even pretending anymore.
Are you glad that Novak exists?
No.
Here's the head-to-head between Federer versus Djokovic between 2005 and 2010. And from then until 2022. Look, way too many things happened during this period, so here are 5 mini stories. So it's their 7th final in a row. The match is intense as f*** on every freaking point. Now that's pretty much 6 hours and the level is insane. And Nadal celebrates winning the 4th set like he won the trophy and even breaks in the 5th, but Djoko manages to come back and takes Nadal legs and well and ultimately wins, and it's heartbreaking for Nadal, but hey, what you gonna do? Then Djoko screams like a man possessed and it's kinda scary to be honest, and then tears up his shirt like he's the Hulk if the Hulk was anorexic. Then this dude speaks way too much and Novak is like, what the f***? And finally they sit down and Novak gives Nadal a bottle of water because in the end he's a kind, sweet human being. Noli traumatized millions of Federer fans forever by saving way too many match points against him. And it all started in 2011. Remember that?
So for me this is very hard to understand how you can play a shot like that on match point.
Well, it's because on this US Open semifinals, Djokovic did that. Yes, the best returner in history made a perfect return. How dares he? Not only is this one of the greatest returns in history, it also paved the way for these ones. If you want to see the perfect mixture of pain, anger, despair and sadness on a human being's face, mention these 2 match points to a Federer's fan. Wimbledon 2019, Fed has 2 match points on his serve and 99% of the crowd roaring for him to a point where it's almost embarrassing. Djokovic saves them both, wins the match, and doesn't scream, doesn't fall down. Nope. Instead, he does that.
Motherfuck the big 3, nigga, it's just big me, nigga, bum. What?
Djokovic played 104 matches at the US Open in a stadium with 23,000 seats, and nothing dramatic ever happened. Then in 2021, when there are 53 people in it, he manages to hit someone and gets expulsed. This was for the best, however. He never got angry again. Just kidding, he still loses his shit every 3 matches. There's a pandemic, Novak doesn't want to get vaccinated, at the risk of never becoming the GOAT.
Ultimately, are you prepared to forego the chance to be the greatest player that ever picked up a racket, statistically, because you feel so strongly about this jab?
Yes. I do.
Why, Novak? Why?
Look, no matter what you think of the debate itself, or the fact that he should have said I am instead of I do, you gotta give it to him. The man stands by his convictions. I mean, you tell me if I get vaccinated, I get this free lawnmower, I get vaccinated right away. I mean, look at this bad boy. And I don't even have a garden. Anyway, he goes to Australia, things are messy, politics come into play, he kinda fucks up too, he's treated like an international criminal, Nadal wins and becomes the GOAT. These are like several pills to swallow one by one. Try them all at once. Djokovic broke methodically, surgically, one by one, every meaningful tennis record. By 2024, he had almost everything. Almost. So Novak is 37. These are most likely his last Olympics. He just went through surgery. And his opponent in the final is the same one who just beat him in Wimbledon and won Roland Garros a month before in the same stadium. Again, this is his last chance. This is the tennis equivalent of Bruce Willis only having 1 match left to save the entire universe. So what does Novak do? From his diet to his breathing, Djokovic likes to have everything under control, and his game is a direct reflection of this mindset. His game is not flamboyant, not flashy, not overpowerful. It's just the closest thing to perfection. And perfection is usually closer to effective than sexy. But most importantly, as Nadal, Federer, or most Dragon Ball characters, except for Master Roshi, this old perv, he constantly evolved and improved. Watch any of these guys with 20 years of difference, you look at very different players. Especially Nadal, who literally looks like a different person. Djokovic has the most slams, Masters 1000, weeks at number 1, pieces of hair by square centimeter, dramatic expulsions from Grand Slams. He did a Djoko Slam, had 3 seasons with 3 slams, came 1 match shy of doing a calendar slam. Look, if you follow this channel, you know that I don't care much for the GOAT debate. But let's be real here. If you really have to give this title to someone, it's not even a competition. Here's where it gets interesting though. And let's hear it from arguably the best technical analyst out there, and my personal favorite, Gil Gross.
You remember that time when it was perfectly acceptable to just slap a GOAT tag on Roger Federer, and it was not scrutinized to the level that Novak's is scrutinized. That is 100% true. It is 100% true that the media was quicker to give that to Federer because he was a darling of the media. He was a darling of the general public, and Novak has not been.
And from another podcaster and former player who didn't even like Djokovic that much.
This conversation is largely like math doesn't care about your feelings, and math doesn't care about your vaccination status.
I'll just leave it there and let whoever wants it fight in the comments.
Bah, on avait dit pas émotionnel.
M'en fous, je le fais. In spite of his titles and records, Novak Djokovic will probably never be as untouchable as his greatest rivals. He's too imperfect, full of cracks, provocative, agitated, childish. But in the end, these flaws might actually be what makes him the most human of these gods. Precisely because he seemed so indestructible at times, he was never loved as much as when he appeared vulnerable. Will he ever be at peace? One thing's for sure, he'll never stop searching. And maybe this is his legacy. More than the titles, the records, the status. He's crazy, insufferable, inspiring, irritating, and all.